Friend in birth, decay, deceit, deceit. Now let us have a last talk. Interactive conversation on Anapanasati. Anapanasati. I wanted to summarize all Dhamma into mindfulness development. Now we will discuss about the truth of anatta, not self, anatta. Buddhism have a very important principle as anatta, not self. Seeing anatta, the mind was released from anything which it attached to before, releasing self out, like come out of a prison. Self-imprisonment, that is the mind attached to the self. Now we want to see the truth of not self, or anatta in Pali. Have to see in the truth of anatta in the life itself, or in the mind and body, or in the five aggregate, kantha aggregate, equivalent to kantha in Pali. Kantha means part, five part or section, five section of life. Seeing anatta in the life as a whole, or in the body and mind as a two, in the five aggregate as a five. Seeing anatta in this is it. Now I want you to see, to look and see anatta-ness. พูดได้ไหม anatta-ness. Not every exercise of Anapanasati. Exercise one is see, understand the breath. At the same time, we can see, can know, can understand that the breath is not self. Long breath or short breath, breathing in or breathing out, is not self. And then the flesh body was conditioned by breath body. Then flesh body cannot be self in itself, because it's a product of breath body. You can see the anatta-ness. Use the term anatta-ness, the being of anatta. at the breath, at the presently at the flesh body, which is a product of breath body, then flesh body is not self. Even the harming of flesh body or the flesh body which is harmed is not self. And then comes to the second group, the exercise of 5. The rapture only is not self. And the exercise of 6, the happiness itself cannot be self. And rapture and happiness is a conditioner of the mind, of the thought. And then the mind or the thought cannot be self. The thought is a product of feeling, rapture and happiness. And then the calming down of the conditioner of the mind or the mind harm cannot be self. All these are not self, anatta. And come to the third group, the third tattva. The sixth exercise 9, every aspect of mind, as we have discussed, every aspect, any aspect, cannot be self, product of the feeling, the Vedana. Even the enjoyed, a joyful mind cannot be self. Stable mind cannot be self. Resisting mind cannot be self. Now we come to the last tattva. The exercise 13, seeing anicca of everything. Everything cannot be self. Even the fading away of attachment, or the mind which is fading away of attachment, such a mind cannot be called self. And then exercise 15. The extinction of attachment. And the mind with the attachment extinct cannot be called self. And finally, the throwing out of all kilesa, all attachment, no self, not self. If you understand them well, all 16 exercises, you can see everything is not self, not self. Then anything outer these 16 can be seen. Because in 16th step we can see body and mind and 5 khandha as not self, anatta. We understand this, seeing the truth of this, until to look and see that the life itself is not self. Body and mind is not self. Five aggregate is not self. And all these compounded things as a body and mind is not self. And then I want you to have a sentence to remember. You are you, which is not you. Understand? You understand it? You are you, which is not you, because it is a real thing of self. No real you, only illusive you, come from ignorance, did not know the truth of the life. He may say, for me, I will say, I am self, which is not self. Okay? You try to understand this. Not food land. Amusing speaking, not food land, not amusing joke. But the real truth. You are you, which is not you. And then you have yourself, which is not yourself. The same thing. You are you, which is not you. You have yourself, which is not yourself. Try to understand this. You will understand the truth of not self or anatta. Try your best to see every object of 16 exercises of Anapanasati Bhavana. You can use this statement to I, to you, to he, to mine, to me, to him, to they, to them. Every term is used in somewhat satya. Relative truth, conventional truth, not ultimate truth. Relative truth. Relative means relate to ignorance. Relate to ignorance. And then we call it relative truth, not a real truth, not ultimate truth. More than that, we are men, which is not men. You are a man, which is not a man. He is a man, which is not a man. Only a compounded thing. Component element compounded, such as a fiber aggregate, and we call it man. In reality, it's not a man, only a compounded thing, not wrong compounded thing. Then we can say, a man which is not a man. when it is not a man. You cannot call it American, European, Australian. Cannot call it, because you know the real man, the real person. You come here as an American. You go back as a boy, as a boy outside, not a man. If you understand this, you understand the truth of anatta. Not the amusing joke, but the real thing, ultimate truth. What sounded like an amusing joke. I ask you to try to understand this. The important principle of the Dhamma of Buddhism is anatta. Seeing anatta can get rid of all kind of attachment of any kind, any respect. You have to do away with it, that attachment, the concept of I, of self. Now the usefulness of Anapanasati Bhavana, of 16 steps. Look at the step by step, seeing the truth of anatta inside us. This is the first point. To have a usefulness, we call it anisangsā, the flowing out of the milk, the Pali term, anisangsā, flowing out of the milk from the cow. From the knowledge of anatta, you can get it all attachment or kilesa. Now you come to know the second point of the usefulness of the Anapanasati. You have to think of 5 essence of the whole Dhamma, essence of whole Dhamma. The Pali term sara means essence, as you should remember, can the part of the wood which is hard, as hardwood, hardwood can คำเดียวว่าแก่น pit the pit
ครับแต่บางคนพูดว่า
hardwood of the wood in Pali ก็สาระ I prefer to use the term essence. Even the pit of hardwood is the essence of the wood. Now, five essence of the whole Dhamma, we call 5 essence of the whole Dhamma, divided into 5. You see five-foot pole at the top of the roof everywhere. Five-foot pole. At that. Five essence of the whole Dhamma. The first is Sila, morality. The second is Samadhi, concentration. The third, Panya, intuitive wisdom. The fourth, Vimutti, emancipation or liberation. The fifth, knowing that emancipated or liberated. 5. Sila, Samadhi, Panya, Vimutti, Vimuttiyana Dassana. Morality, concentration, wisdom, emancipation, and knowing that emancipated. You remember 5 things. 5 things. 5 things. In the whole set of Anapanasati, of 16 steps, you can find these 5 essence. As for Sila or morality, it is the controlling of on the mind to practice, to command the mind to practice. To command the mind to be mindful, to be in mindfulness. This is called Sila. Now Sila in wider sense, commanding the mind to do the function, to do the duty of the mind. Every step, every exercise of 16 steps has such a Sila. And then in Anapanasati we have Sila as a whole. And Samadhi or concentration in exercise of 4. We have body conditioner calm until the mind calm. That is Samadhi or concentration. And at exercise 8, having the mind itself calm, to be calm. And that is Samadhi. Exercise 4 and exercise 8 is of Samadhi, having Samadhi as a result. Now, come to Panya. You have to have a Panya, some scale at every exercise, 16 exercise. Especially in the 13 exercise, seeing anicca, and that is the utmost seeing of Panya, utmost Panya, at 13 steps, seeing anicca, where this form of anicca ever have discussed. Now, Vimutti, emancipation. The exercise of 14 and 15. Seeing fading away of attachment, seeing extinction of attachment. That is emancipation from the very beginning to the final emancipation takes place bit by bit at the exercise 40 at most scale at the exercise 15. Then come to vimuttiyana tassana, knowing that now emancipated. That is the last exercise 16. And another time to call it Paccavekkhana Jnana, looking it particularly, that now manifested. Now you can see all essence of fight included in the system of Anapanasati of 16 steps. Then we can say it is all as a whole of Buddhism, all of Dhamma of Buddhism, of the whole Buddhism, seeing this essence of the whole Dhamma, having 5 fingers for remembrance, then know that Sila, Samadhi, Panya, Vimutti, Vimuttiyana Tassana. Morality, concentration, wisdom, emancipation, knowing that now emancipated. The result of Anapanasati. Now you all of you are acquainted with eightfold path. Eightfold path ใช่ไหมถ้าทุกคนรู้แล้ว Right view, right aim, right speech, right conduct, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. And the term right, I prefer to use the term correct. Correct. At correctness, eightfold path. You can see, look and see and try all of these 8 in the whole system of 16 steps of Anapanasati. When we know the truth of this, it is a right view. Then we want in correct way to use it, to practice it, to be manifested. That is the right aim. As for right speech, right conduct, right livelihood, easy to see all the time. We have a result of right speech, right conduct, and right livelihood. Even we did not speak, but we have a right correct speech, conduct, and livelihood. Now we are sitting still. What full of right speech, right conduct, and right livelihood. And then we try our best to practice all the way. That is the right effort You have to be mindful all the way of the practice of Anapanasati. That is the right mindfulness. And we concentrate upon the practice, object for the practice. It is the right of concentration. You try to look and you will see all 8 factor, angka, 8 angka, 8 factor of the path, which is called 8-fold path. 8-fold Pali, 8 angka factor. You can see and find 8 factor in the whole system of Anapanasati Bhavana. Try your best, you will find. จะมากไปไหมที่จะพูดเรื่องโพชฌงค์
คงไม่เป็น
Another group or set of Dhamma called Pochankha, the factor of enlightenment, factor of enlightenment. It is 7 Pochankha. All 7 Pochankha can be found in the whole system of Anapanasati, of 16 steps. You will see yourself when I say and I speak to it. The first Pochankha is sati, mindfulness. You have to see all the time of practice Anapanasati. We have the first factor, first angka, or the first factor as sati, mindfulness. The second angka factor, Dhamma vicaya, analyzing the Dhamma and to know it. We analyze the breadth of all aspects of categories of it and of feelings and rapture and happiness and every aspect of the mind, many aspects at the 9 exercise. Dhamma vicaya, analyzing of Dhamma. Now at the third angka or the third factor is viriya, that is the effort have to be used at every exercise of the whole set of Anapanasati. The fourth angka or factor is piti. Piti means contentment. If the contentment is the best, we call it piti. If calm down, we call it happiness, sukha. Now, sukha or happiness included in the term piti of the fourth factor. In the exercise 6, we treat upon the piti as a conditioner of the mind, and have it a subject of concentration, and use it as a energy or power to erect happiness. And the sixth factor is the calming down of the mind. We have this factor in the exercise 4 and exercise 8. Having the body conditioner calm, having the mind conditioner calm at the exercises 4 and the exercise 8. And then the sixth factor is samadhi itself. In the whole set of Anapanasati, we have concentration at the great scale, at every step, from the very beginning to the last. Especially in the exercise of 4 and the exercise 8, we have a full scale of concentration or samadhi. The last factor called upekha. In this practice, I will call it equilibrium, butตามธรรมดามันเรียกequanimity. It has a special meaning. Upekha means looking at the back, like a hunting, looking. Look at the Dhamma we practice in correct way. Such as a simile of it in the Pali term, like a man, charioteer, holding the rope tied to the horse, drawing the chariot. When the road good, everything good, the charioteer only to hold the rope. ก็เรียกว่าอะไรนะ rope ที่ถือม้าจะผูกม้า
rain
ฮะ
rain ใช้ rain
the rope from the horse only to hold the rope. When all things correct, you have only to hold the wheel, the wheel of the car. No need to do anything. The meaning of the term upekha, let it go. When all things is correct, is ready, upekha. After we have practiced the Dhamma of all exercise correct. Allow only to look at it, go on and on by itself. The last factor of 7 factor of enlightenment. All these 7 factor of enlightenment that can be found in the whole set of Anapanasati, of 16 steps. You can try your best to look and see these 7 factors of enlightenment. Now, we come to look at the usefulness of Anapanasati. Every man, of every job, of every life, like one, หาเลี้ยงชีวิตนะ
livelihood
livelihood อาชีพ
profession
บุคคลทุกอาชีพ
every profession
a farmer, a gardener, laborer, can make use of Anapanasati in the time of the job of his function, his duty. Businessmen, economists can make use of the benefit of Anapanasati. Scientists, artists, lawyers can make use of Anapanasati.นักบวชในความหมายทั่วไปว่านักบวช
religious people
นักบวช
cleric priest
and the man of homeless life นักบวช monk of every religion because it's นักบวช student of every school and the man who propaganda Dhamma can call propagandist have to use make use the benefit of Anapanasati. Student and นักปฏิบัตินักศึกษาแล้วก็นักปฏิบัติ
student
practitioner student or practitioner have to make use of mindfulness in their function. Because they can have mindfulness, wisdom, attentiveness, and concentration. They are well versed in these 4 things. can help them to be used in the moment of function of them. Finally, anyone who wants to have sudden happiness, they call it sudden happiness at that moment he wants to have, by means of Anapanasati. He can have happiness, sudden happiness at that moment he wants it. Then they can have happiness, special type, happiness of the passion aspect that did not bite the owner. Happiness that did not bite the owner. That is a happiness from Anapanasati. The practice of it can be both as art and science. The beauty in the practice, beauty in a spiritual way, can be called art as a Buddhist art. And the art of liberating himself from suffering. High art of Buddhism. We use the same term, high art. High art and another way, high art in the material way. Now in spiritual way, high art, that is the art of liberating, as a liberating himself from suffering. And being a science as it has to use the method of science, having the real object, treat upon the object. No need to have a hypothesis. No. Only real thing, treat upon the real thing. Experiment on it, check it, prove it in the way of science, method of science. The practice of Dhamma can be regarded as both art and science. I have to use the term very strange to you. Scientific art, artistic science. You have ever heard these two terms? Scientific art, art is science, and artistic science, science is artistic of artists. You will look and see this fact from the whole set of Anapanasati as an art, as a science, and have it as an artistic science, scientific art. Don't try to know the meaning. It can be called that it comprises all ways of all religions to get rid of defilement. And all science and all culture the knowing of anatta is the topmost culture of humanity, of human world. Before this, no culture such a high culture as to be beyond all problems, and to know the truth of not self, and then can be beyond the influence of positivism and negativism. We can regard it as a topmost culture by the Lord Buddha. In India before the time of Buddha, no such instruction to be beyond all positive and negative, or to get rid of all meaning of self. Now we have the term anatta. Very important to know the meaning of it. You will remember the three terms: atta, anatta, and the niratta. Atta means the self at the full scale. Self at full scale. Niratta means none, no self, not self, any kind, any being, any aspect. In the mid-term we have anatta, self which is not self. Understand it? As I have told you, you are you which is not you, which is not you. Self which is not self. In reality it is elusive self, but ignorant man grasping at as a real self. And then we call the self which is not self, because it is not real self. Art and science to get at the fact, at the truth of knowing the self, elusive self, which is the real self. By means of practice Anapanasati, a whole set of 16 steps, we can have such an art and a science to come out of elusiveness, of ignorance, deceive us all the time. Now we cannot be deceived by ignorance again. Try to remember self which is not self, but everyone has it as a real self. Problem takes place. The self is a burden, tormenting everyone who attached to it, grasping at it, cling to it. Now come out or do away with the self, the ignorance deceiving us to have a self. Now we are free from self. Rather suddenly, we are free from ourselves. Free from ourselves. You are free from yourself. Because you is not you. You remember this. Free ourselves from ourselves. Because the elusive thing. And this we call anisangsa, flowing out of the milk, the flowing milk from the Dhamma. And then have it knowledge of not self, the teaching of not self, the truth of not self, Buddhism, the religion of not self. จบแล้ว You have to know the self which is not self. You which is not you. Man which is not man. Only this. Benefit from Anapanasati, the whole set of Anapanasati, of 16 steps. Now we finish our conversation. Thank you very much. Good listener, endeavoring to listen. My speaking comes to English at a Chinese speaking time again. Thank you.